Hi YouTube, UKLockPicka back with another video. Today's video I'm going to be trying to pick this Schlage Everest motor cylinder. This is the key. The lock itself came from Papa Smurf, so thank you very much mate. Your details are in the description below and probably is going to be put across here. First look at this lock, we can see that it's a 6-pin cylinder. But not only that, we do have a side pin that kicks in on the bottom of the keyway. Like I say, when I first looked at this lock or heard of the lock, I thought it would be a very tough lock to pick. But I was pleasantly surprised because the pick itself isn't hard. And the reason it's not hard is the pins are dead easy to set. The keyway looks paracentric, but it's not. You can pick off the bottom and you can reach all the way to the top. If it'll focus, you can get up right the way up like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to pop this one in the vise, and we're going to try and pick it open, and I'll tell you why it's a dead easy pick at the end. And it's to do with the side pin really, and well, the drivers, let's face it. So let me just whack that in the vise. I'm going to be using a Schlage Everest pick to set the side pin because I've unfortunately snapped it, which I'm absolutely gutted about. Hopefully I'm going to speak to Daz and see if we can drill that out and then reapply some pick material in there because I love that pick. Gutted life. So I'm going to pick upside down. Well, upside down for me. Some of you probably is not. We're going to be using a pry bar, and we're going to pick clockwise. Doesn't matter with this lot really, you can pick it either way. But so let's just zoom in a bit, see if you can get a better view. Right, so start at the back. That was 6, 5's loose, 4's binding, 3's loose, 2's binding, on 1 can be set, 6 is still set, under 5, overset, overset again, set, 3, a little click, 1's reset. You would have heard a couple of pins there reset, not a problem. We'll get them in a minute. Fighting with the warden. There you are. What you would have heard there is a slight false set and it fell in. Now all we have to do now is worry about the side pin. So going back to why this is a very easy pick is A, I didn't really feel any security pins in there whatsoever. B, or number 2 is you get a solid false set, which indicates that you can pick the side pin. But not only that, the side pin has only one setting. So you can basically stick a pick down the side, and as long as you touch the pin, if you can get the pick in there, it'll pick the lock. So the lock itself is a good design, however, it could have some better features implemented. Some being different depths for the side pin, and maybe it's a security side pin. And obviously up top, you should have had some security pins in there. It's got the making of a really, really good lock. Decent bitting. But maybe this needs just a little bit more thought, in my opinion. So what we'll do is we're going to take that out. Leave it in short. I'm going to gut it. If I can get my camera to stop where it is. Just like that. So I'm going to lock this one back up because I have got the key. Pop the key in. On the battery you've got some star head fixing for the actuator. So we'll take that screw out. I've not actually disassembled this lock yet. So this is the first time, like, so bear with us. That comes off. I am going to shim this lock, actually, if I can. it. Get me follower. Success. So you can see on the top 6 pins, and obviously the side pin, that's number 6 that's just dropped out, but we'll drop the pins first, if you can see. 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh. 6 pins. As you can see, there's none there that's secure. There's no security pin. That's the side pin that's just fell out, so we'll leave that in there. Looking at the core, there's no modifications whatsoever that I can see to the plug. Nothing. Leave that to one side. There's a tiny little spring which moves or operates with the side pin, I'm guessing, so we'll leave her in there. Just get me tweezers out. So, I mean, I don't know. It's a shame to see a lock that's got so much potential. Just that it's just so annoying. It could be such a good lock, this, and they've just overlooked so many things. It's ridiculous. So in 1 is a standard, 2 standard, 3 standard, 4. Let's see if I can get the last one. Sorry, not the last one, the 4th one. The very last standard. All of them are standard, and the way the side pin works, if you can see at the back, where is it? See there? Right in the corner. Obviously, if the key's not in, you can't pick it because the pin gets pulled out of that, or it'll get sucked into that if you don't pick it properly. So all the springs are in. I think they're all copper springs, but I'm going to give you some close-ups on this one. I've got a little bit more time to edit my video. So that is the Schlage Everest. Nice lock to pick if you want quite a straightforward pick, but it's not hard one bit. It's not high security at all. Though the person who picks it, who maybe hasn't got any knowledge of the lock, then yeah, they would be stumped because they wouldn't know about the side pin. But apart from the side pin, a very straightforward pick. I'd put this on the level of a master lock. So not overly impressed, but I still enjoyed the pick. Again, thanks Papa Smurf, you're a star, mate. If you like the video and you'd like to see more, please support the channel by hitting the subscribe button. I appreciate all the likes and comments that you send to the channel, and I do reply to nearly all of them. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you on the next one. With everybody picking locks online, I thought it would be nice to show the newer pickers on how to put one of these back together. And the way I do it is, you take all your key pins and you populate the Bible. And a good idea is, once you've repopulated this, is check it with the key. Because when you're videoing and you come to the end of the video, you think you know which order you've put them in that way, into the tray. Sometimes you end up putting them back to front. So if you did that and you put the lock back together, it wouldn't break the lock, but what it would do is mean that you've got to pick it again. And if it's been sitting in your naughty bucket for a while, it's going to be a big pain in the arse. So double check that. Make sure the side pin's actually depressed. And then what you want to do is put that to one side. Make sure the pins don't fall back out. And then all you do is put your follower in. What I do is make sure all the springs are pushed down if they're protruding the chambers. This will stop the springs from getting dragged across and breaking or stretching and damaging the lock. And then put a pin in to the slot, depress it and push it in. Turn the lock around and then you start at the very last pin, the one before you, the one that you've just put in. So count down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you know all you've got to do is stand her up on top of the spring and push it down and bring your follower forward. And you repeat the process all the way up. So now we're on 3. Stand her on top of that, look. Stand her on top of the actual spring. And hopefully you can see that if it's going to depress it. Yeah. Last 2. Pop her down. You can get proper tweezers which hold it and then push it down, push the pin down as you're holding the pin, but I tend just to struggle my backside off. Once that's in that part, that's the driver set in place, you've got the key pin set in place, and the clever picker will always try and use a shim like that, and then turn it round, make sure the shim comes out the other end, push your follower back so there's just a little bit of the actual shim showing. Push the plug back in, remove the shim, make sure it turns all the way around, which it does, and then you can put the actuator back on the back. The actuator is what spins the locking bar, which is sometimes in the UK what you've got is you can have these locking all sorts of things, but this here turns the actual cam inside the door. Sometimes if it's in a 4-point locking system, this will actuate the rest of the bars, which opens it. So put your thing on the back, you screw back in, and once that's been put in, you're safe to take the key out. So that is the Schlage Everest picked and assembled. I hope this helps people. The key got sticky there for a second. I think it's because I was trying to have it turned the wrong way, but it does work perfect. I just didn't have it in the right position to pull out. Thanks for watching.